Perfect. I want to start by saying thanks for everyone for being here. 50X Godfather's Call, partaking this conversation with Hissim from Quint. Very honored to have Hissim here with us today. He is the Chief Communication Officer with extensive business background. So it's a very exciting moment for me. The project has a lot of hype behind it, as well as a lot of accomplishment within a short period of time. So with that, Hassim, if you can introduce yourself, your background, and talk about how you guys came up with the name Quint. I'm actually very intrigued. It seems to me that there's a lot of thought process that put into the name, and it's a very unique name. So I'd love to hear the background on that as well.
Well, I mean, the thing is, thank you very much, guys. So my name is Hisham Wine. I'm the Chief Comms Officer for Quint. Thrilled to be here with all of you. We were going to do this a week back, but we pushed it for a week, and it's amazing to be doing this now. Let's get right into the name. Yes, and thank you. Quint, we're still a very young project. We launched on the 21st of April. To us, it feels like we've been doing this for years, and in a way, we probably have, because Quint is one of those projects that underwent extensive research, development, and the sinking in of resources before we even thought about launching it. First, let me hit the name Quint. Quint is short for Quintessential, which means something that is essential, something that is unique, something that plays a role in your life. And it's just short for that. And it really is an encapsulation of everything that we want to achieve with Quint, representing a perfect example of quality or class. That's what Quintessential is. And the Quint is the short form for that. In fact, we have pools called Quintessential pools that I will be telling you about in just a bit as well. There are super staking pools. So that's where the name comes from.
I love it. I love it, Hisham. A lot of thoughts behind it, behind the name. And I think it reflects your team, your project, and what you guys are doing. Especially, like you said, there's a pool that's called Quintessential. And Hisham will elaborate on that further in a bit here. That is amazing, Hisham. So, within a short period of time, you guys had the whole BSC space talking about Quint, and even us in our group. And undoubtedly, you guys, one of the top projects out there in a very short period of time. So I'm actually very impressed by it. But let's dig deep into your team, because I think to understand how you guys got here, it's not an accident, right? There's a lot of great high caliber people behind your team. So I would love for you to go in depth on your team.
I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to do that. So the key thing that you have to understand about Quint and the Quint team is that we've been involved in the crypto space for a while from an investment point of view, from an enthusiast point of view, and also from a professional point of view. Like, I was the MC and host for the Phantom conference, the FTM conference, when they came to Abu Dhabi last year. And so we've been involved in the space, but we were always looking at third-party projects, and we were investing in third-party projects. Rahul is, who's our managing partner, is an investor. Some in third-party projects who used to, and that gave us an understanding of what's out there. And we thought to ourselves, there is room here to do things better. And here's a stat that I want all of you to focus on, because this is where the big growth is going to be. And that stat is 4%. And the reason that is important is that less than 4% of the world invests in crypto. True. I mean, we've got very great communities in the crypto space and all the rest of it, but let's not forget that that's under 4% of the world's population. It's an amazing figure because it shows you that 96% of that pie, that huge pie, is still out there. And if you can hit those people, if you can promote mass adoption of DeFi, of crypto, of blockchain, that's going to be a rising tide that lifts not just Quint, but all boats. And one of the things that we wanted to do was to use Quint as a showcase project, as a project backed by industry veterans who are well known in the real world. So that means they have credibility, they have reliability, and more importantly, they have something to lose. They have their reputations to lose. By doing that, what we wanted to create was a high return, relatively low risk project that, in the absence of regulation, because let's face it, at present, the crypto space isn't regulated at all, and it makes it difficult for investors, even experienced investors, and it makes it very difficult for new investors to come in and figure out what to invest in. Like, what kind of a token is it? Is it inflationary? Is it deflationary? Is it a shitcoin? Is it a meme coin? Is it a utility token? What chain it's on? All of this, it just completely boggles the mind. You know, is it a honeypot? Is it a rug pull? There's so many terms that are completely strange to the outsider. We don't have this regulation. So at Quint, we regulate ourselves. So we follow corporate governance that we apply throughout Quint, but it's the same sort of governance that we apply in our daily businesses as well. We follow this policy of laying out roadmaps, of having internal accountability, of following through and actually delivering. So what we wanted to do at Quint, our tagline is chosen very carefully: connecting the metaverse to the real world. And we do that in a number of ways, and I'll tell you about that. But one of the ways that we connect the metaverse to the real world is that we are bringing real world accountability and performance metrics. And when we say that we'll do something, actually doing it to the metaverse. So it's a two-way stream. Look, if you have a day job, you're expected to deliver, right? So why should it be different when it comes to crypto projects? Why can crypto projects feed hopium to people and then disappear for months and years? These are things that lead to higher risk, which deters investors, which is why only 4% of the world is currently investing in cryptocurrency. So with Quint, we wanted to show people, we want Quint to be a gateway project to understanding that investing in a project with a real world team, fully doxed in the public eye, certic KYC'd. Now, KYC is good, but doxed is better, because my research tells me that, and I was talking to a couple of other people in the space, and you can sometimes, if you were so inclined, you could actually pay for KYC certificates from certain destinations, etc. But when you have a doxed team of industry leaders, the accountability that comes in is massive. So a little bit, in case you haven't heard of Quint, we are a project on the BSC chain. We chose the BSC chain because we believe in BSC. We like the chain. It's fast, low gas fees, fairly easy to use, easy to program on, easy to design contracts on. So we decided it'd be a good chain to launch, and we really want Quint's success to also, we want Quint to be a spearhead project for the chain, because a lot of our community was like, well, why did you choose BSC? Why didn't you go into Ethereum on the whales on Ethereum, whatever? And I was like, look, we will be on all these chains. We're going to be working on that, but BSC was a great chain for us to launch on. Our motto, as I said, is connecting the metaverse to the real world. We do it through a number of ways, but I'm going to talk to you about two in just a bit. Number one, the concept of super staking, where you stake your Quint, it gives you a passive income of a crypto, and then it also gives you real world rewards. And we've got our luxury raffle pools running. Those are a super staking form of pool where you put in your Quint, you're earning crypto returns anyway, but you're also, each 500 Quint that you put in, which is still at today's prices, about $700, maximum $800. Each 500 Quint that you put in gives you a ticket to win, and check this out, to win not one, but two limited edition Hublot Big Bang watches, diamond covered, beautiful timepieces. They're worth about 200,000 USD. So our luxury raffle pools do that. They give these real world prizes to our retail investors, people who are maybe not big ticket. Because here's the thing, normally if you do a project, and if you invest in a project, you catch it on the ground floor, you ride the high, you X. In order to gain a particular sort of lifestyle, to gain the perks, you have to sell out. You have to cash out to fiat, then you spend that fiat, or you cash out to USDT and you buy things with that. But our point was, why can't we just reward people for holding Quint? Because we hear in the space, we hear a lot of like utility, passive income, etc. With our super staking, you're getting your passive income. We also have our conventional pools. Our conventional pools don't give you real world rewards, but all you have to do is go in, stake your Quint, and you are earning 16% APY, so annual yields on the Quint that you're staking, which is such a great hedge, by the way, against a bear market. It's just fantastic. And if you have enough Quint and you keep staking them and you build that bag, you build that portfolio, eventually just the staking rewards are going to add a little bit to your passive income. I mean, that's the strategy that I'm playing as well. So I'm very excited about that. We launched on PancakeSwap on April 21st. It seems like a complete lifetime ago because we've been working so very hard that to us, it feels like a couple of years, but we're actually only a couple of months old. Before that, April 7th, we'd started a pre-sale, which was on our website. And we raised about almost 10,000 beans with our pre-sale. And then on the 21st, we launched on PancakeSwap. And that's where the magic started happening because by April 26th, 4 days, we'd already completed 10,000 transactions. This is only in PancakeSwap. And we'd already, between 21st and the 26th, we'd already scaled 4x. And so our early investors were seeing that sort of graph going up. But you were talking about the team. What's amazing about our team, again, is so many resources, so much industry experience, so many reputations. So just to give you an example, our managing partner, Rahul Chaudhary, is at the helm of a Forbes listed business. He's at the head of CG Corp Global. They're a Nepalese multinational conglomerate with a history, check this out, stretching back 140 years, 4 generations of family business. They've been on the Forbes Global list since 2013. This multi-billion-dollar company encompasses 79 brands, 167 companies, and I think about 35 countries. They own 5-star properties, resorts in the Maldives, here in Dubai, everywhere. Our chairman, Mr. Mohammed Al-Baluki, is actually the chief operating officer of Etihad Airways. And the reason that this is amazingly big news is that Etihad is the national carrier of the United Arab Emirates, which means that the government keeps a very close eye on it. It's a quasi-government airline. It is the national carrier. And for the chief operating officer to become so inspired by Quint that they join as a chairman, and mind you, publicly, they wanted to go out there, Mr. Al-Baluki wanted to go out there and declare that he was the chairman of Quint. He cleared it with legal. He cleared it with Etihad's compliance. And we announced it, and it was a huge story because that just shows the incredible trust that people have in Quint. And it shows that we have the willingness and the resources and the reach to make Quint really special. Just to give an example, like we researched this project for 15 years. Sorry, not 15 years. What am I saying? It feels like 15 years. But for at least a year, figuring out the business model, how we're adding utilities. Is this going to work? How are we going to sell it in the real world? Because we asked ourselves all the hard questions and we put in the money. We put in the resources. We assembled the expertise before we even thought about launching. Pre-launch, we had spent millions of dollars raising brand awareness. This is even pre-launch. We were on Bond Street in London. We were on the Brill building in Times Square and also in the NASDAQ building. We had Quint videos running there. We were in Dubai. We were in Turkey. We're still in Turkey, by the way, because the Turks really like our branding and they keep running it over and over. And we wanted to create that brand awareness before we even launched. Because, again, at Quint, we wanted to link the metaverse with the real world. And part of that was making sure that we had that real world awareness as well. Now, mind you, we were, obviously, when we launched, we were trending on CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, other valuation tools. That's fine. But for us, the real world is very important because that's where we draw our strength. That's where we draw our credibility. That's where we draw our resources. And it was a testament. We wanted to show the world how serious we were, because most coins, most tokens, and I'm not denigrating anyone because obviously everybody needs to have roadmaps the way to the best of their ability. But in our space, it's very common for people to come up with a meme coin, to come up with something that doesn't do anything except just meme, and it goes up and eventually it comes down. And if it takes off, or even if it's a utility token, if it takes off, they then, start thinking, oh, from the pre-sale, they'll do a pre-sale. If the pre-sale goes well, they'll then start putting together a white paper, using resources and putting together a website and taking it from there. Before we went to our pre-sale, we had our branding up in these global hubs. We had people asking, what is Quint? We don't know. Somebody tell us. We had an incredible website. We had a fully vetted white paper. And we were already in conversation with Certic about starting an audit. So well before we'd launched, we'd gone that extra mile to ensure delivery. And that's why our launch was really good. And it's just a question of resilience then. I mean, the graph was incredible right up to the 30th of May. It was just green bubbles all the way. By the 30th of May, which would be about a month after launch, we 30 to 35x'd, which was incredible. And we did this all in a bear market, by the way, because the market's bad now, but the market wasn't great then either. There were headwinds. Bitcoin was lurching around, and BNB, remember, we were on the BSE chain, so bean prices, they matter. And, you know, BNB was either holding steady or not doing too much. And they were cold winds coming, but people believed in Quint, and it was a super launch. Absolutely loved it. But that was because we were out there talking to people face to face. I mean, I love talking to all communities, and it's so amazing being here with you. But a large part of what we do as well, being real world people, doxed and industry veterans, is that some of our earliest whales were physical, real life, traditional investors who might have their money in real estate, who might previously have bought gold as a store of value or commodities, or even if they trade, they only trade the stock market. And the reason that we went to these people was A, because we could, and that separates us from pure crypto projects because we're linking the metaverse and the real world. And B, it's because the traditional investors habitually have lower risk appetite than just crypto degens. They're the opposite of degen. They ask you all the hard questions. Who are you people? What's your reputation? If I put my money in, what returns are you looking at? What do you think? And if we were able to satisfy them and earn their trust, then we can do that in the crypto space, no problem. Because in the pure play crypto space, risk tolerances are largely a bit higher. But yeah, that in a nutshell is the Quint story. Following on from this idea of linking the real world and the metaverse, can I talk to you a little bit about our super staking pools? I've already introduced them, but I really want to talk about that because I think that they're really special. Our super stake, cool.
Yeah, you know, before you go on, Hisham, I just want to touch on what you said. I think very important as far as your team background. You know, there are two types of investor, right? Well, within the crypto space, you have the degen plays, you have the shit meme coins as well. But the real investors, they really look for fundamentals, right? And so, as you heard Hashim list all the chairmen, the managing partner, Mr. Rahul and Mr. Mohammed, the chairman. So these guys, they do have their run a multi-billion-dollar company in real life, real business people. So when you're looking for fundamentals investing, this is it, right? This Quint is it. So it has all the elements that as a investor, that's what you want to look for. Now, going back to the pool, I just want to touch on a very, very big thing, Hashim. So currently, your TVL right now is at 180 million. Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
I mean,
Hashim, for those that do not know what TVL is, if you could elaborate on that and what that means for the project.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be really happy to. So, I mean, first I'm going to pick up on that point that you made that, you know, yeah, they're degen plays, et cetera, et cetera. But when you're investing properly, degen plays should never be part of your portfolio except for 1% or whatever at the top end. So you just play around, right? Degen plays are at the top. For sound investment strategies, most people focus a lot on utility tokens. For most of their portfolio, and then maybe day trading 3 to 4%, and then that top 1% can be degen plays, put it into shit coins, meme coins, whatever, because if they take off, whoa, but even if they don't, it's only 1%. Anyway, that's how I would talk about risk management. But of course, this is not financial advice. I'm only here to talk about Quint today anyway. But one of the things that we believe in family is that if you're an investor in a token like Quint, you are investing in the team as much as you're investing in the project, and you're investing in the roadmap of utility and the team's ability to create utility for you. So when you invest in a token, you're effectively buying shares in the future of this enterprise Quint that we're running, which links the metaverse to the real world. So, and it's a good idea to look at it that way. Now, and which is why we focus so much on adding utility. We've already launched our pools. I'll talk to you a bit about that. Our boutique NFT marketplace is up, but we've got so much more utility planned, and every day brings new ideas. We spend hours talking to people, both in the crypto communities, in the tech spaces, and also a lot in the real world, which is where we want to go with our mainstream adoption. There's so much room there to grow. But let's talk about that TVL. Sorry, I got sidetracked because I'm so passionate about talking about this. But basically, TVL stands for total value locked, and it is a measure of how much value is locked into the utilities of a project. So the more TVL a project has, generally that means that their utilities are quite strong. So a high TVL differentiates a utility coin or a strong project from a pure meme coin, which doesn't really have any functionality and is just a meme and it's going up or down based on market sentiment and how much people like it or believe in it, right? So TVL is important. But from an investor point of view, here is why our TVL is especially important. Unlike what Dex Tools tells you and what PooCoin tells you, we've tried correcting this many times, I've written to them, but it just doesn't work. Quint is a deflationary token with a maximum diluted supply of 800 million. There will only ever be 800 million Quint in existence. We don't even have a mint function in our smart contract. Pravlad actually checked that out the other day. We don't have one, which means we can't make any more Quint. It is done. But here's the good news if you're an investor. Out of those 800 million Quint, only 255 Quints are in circulation because the rest of them are locked. They're either vested, they're founder tokens, or there's a bit of supply that we have earmarked, and it's all in the white paper. It's earmarked for different reasons, and when we go to the centralized exchanges, we'll be unlocking that because exchanges need that volume, and we need to supply them with Quint as well, based on their terms and conditions. So check this out. 255 million Quint in circulation. Right now, if you go to stake.quint.io, out of that, 120 million Quint, which is a TVL or total value locked of almost $200 million, is locked away. And what that means is that when the market makes its move, when BNB starts rising, even if we go to sleep for the next couple of months, which of course we're absolutely not because we're on this every single day, you're going to see some incredible price moves on Quint, simply because so much of the supply is already locked away in these wonderful super staking pools. They're generating returns, they're locked, they're not leading to market volatility. You're not seeing that many buys and sells, locked away. And that is why, as an investor, that TVL is so important to you, because as soon as this market turns, I'm looking forward to some quite serious price action vis-a-vis Quint.
Now with the TVL currently at 180 million, so put that in perspective, guys.
It's 191 right now, Seattle. It's 191 because the price has risen just a bit. So right now it's 191 million.
Wow, that is amazing. Yeah. Now, keep in mind that Quint has not been around for a very long period of time. And, you know, what TVL translates to is pretty much the sum of confidence in the project, right? So what that means is that people are locking up their money in order to gain something, gain a reward from it. Now, traditional staking, you lock up your money, you lock up your tokens, you get a reward. Usually is the native token. Now, Quint has 3 different type of pools. If you can talk about the differences between the pools, and I think it's a very unique feature, and I think the investor needs to understand this because it's actually tied to a real asset. It's not your regular staking pool. If you can elaborate on that a little more, Hisham, that'd be amazing. That'd be great.
I would be so delighted to, because these pools are really what set us apart, right? But again, we did this in a measured way. We did this in a way where we tested, back tested. I personally sat with the developers just to check out the user interface and and all the rest of it, to make sure that the buttons were easy to understand and we all knew what was going on. So the first thing that we launched were our conventional pools. Now, the conventional pools we launched because we wanted to make sure that we tested those out in the real world with our large community before we went ahead. In the conventional pools, it's very simple. You connect your wallet, you stake, you start earning an APY of over 16%. Just like that. So your Quint counter keeps rising. You can compound. We have a compound feature built in, by the way. So you just hit the compound button and the Quint is added back into your principal, which means you grow faster. Once our conventional pools had seen uptake, and I mean, did they see uptake, Mr. Seattle Crypto? Did they see uptake? June 5th, we went ahead with the conventional staking. We locked 10 million in TVL within the first hour. That is how primed our community was. By the time 24 hours had elapsed, we had locked away 30 million in TVL. I mean, that is incredible. I've been in this space a while and I haven't seen such enthusiasm and such trust. And we were there, we were online, we were engaging on TG. If anybody had questions, or we were making tutorial videos, we were showing people how to do it. Again, we were bringing these real world values like, you know, you expect your web browser to just work. You expect your word processor to just work. Why can't things just work in the crypto space? And so we were there, we were hands-on supporting people. Then we launched on June 18th, we launched our luxury raffle pools. Now, the luxury raffle pools are incredible because, like you said, Mr. Seattle Crypto, they reward you with real world assets. So you stake in, and at present, there's about 4 million staked in there. For 500 Quint, you get a ticket into a luxury raffle pool. And like the name says, it's a raffle. Now, the earlier with these pools, because we don't want a last minute flood of people looking to come in, game the system and try and win, staking early is really important. Our luxury raffle pools will run for about 3 weeks, always. I mean, the first one is definitely 3 weeks, and most of them will be of the same duration. So they pay out really fast. You get your crypto returns in the meanwhile, but you're going to get a real world, an amazing, incredible real world prize. These pools only take entries for the first 14 days, right? So we don't want people coming in right before the pool's about to open and flood it. So you've got the first 14 days of entries. And in fact, if I just check the website right now, if I go into the staking website, so there's still on the pool that's running right now, there's 5 days and 17 hours left to get your entries in. Here's what's really clever about these pools. If you had staked on day one, when there were still 14 days left of entries open, each ticket that you'd bought for 500 Quint, so each 500 Quint that you'd put in to get a ticket would have been multiplied by 14, right? Equal to the number of days left. Then if you'd come in a day late and you'd put in 500 Quint, you'd automatically have gained a multiplier of 13, and so on and so forth, until the last day, day number 14, 500 Quint just gets you one ticket. So we are, and it's the same thing with the crypto returns as well. We haven't, you'll see on the luxury raffle pools, we haven't announced the APYs there because they're on a curve. It's difficult I'd have to put in a paragraph to explain it, but basically the earlier you stake, the better APYs you're earning in terms of crypto as well. So that's the idea of the luxury raffle pool. Really exciting prizes. This one will pay out 2 Hublot limited edition timepieces, one in rose gold, one in titanium, both of them pave, which is a way of saying that they're diamond encrusted. Each one of those watches is net retails at 120,000 USD. So really, we wanted to give our small ticket investors, our community, a chance to win something incredible just by staking Quint. And, you know, whisper it, but our luxury raffle pool number 2 is probably going to give away a Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT. So, you know, we'll announce that in due course and stay tuned for that. But so that's our luxury raffle pools. Our Quintessential pools, which are coming up soon, are incredible, and they take this concept to a whole new level. So with a Quintessential pool, each pool gives you the incredible crypto returns. So your Quint is ticking over and adding to its own bag, which is superb from a passive income point of view. from a hedge against a bear market point of view. But each pool comes with its own set of advantages. So you'll be getting things like supercar experiences in London. You'll be getting a luxury stay in Dubai with flights and everything, just as a benefit of being in that pool. So this is not a raffle. This is just a benefit. If you are an investor in that Quintessential pool, the benefit that that pool unlocks is that you get to avail yourself of this offer just by being a Quintessential super staker. And this is what's incredible. Each pool will have its own lock time. It's when it pays out, depending on what is being offered, and each pool will have its own set of rewards as well. And here's what's quite incredible about the Quintessential pools. Remember, Quint is all about linking the metaverse to the real world. Eventually, we're going to pull large investors, and potentially smaller ones as well, into a specific super staking pool that is going to invest in real world real estate assets. Remember, our founders are developers. They have set up at least a dozen towers in Dubai alone. I'm talking to you from one of them, for example. And we know how to do this. We know how to project manage in real life. We know how to construct. We know how to deliver 5-star properties. So why not use the Quintessential pool to either create a property from scratch or buy and refurb or whatever it is, but find a real estate opportunity that will give returns, and then make every single Quintessential pool super staker part owner of that real estate. It's called fractional ownership. And that will happen. That's on our roadmap. So, I mean, the Quintessential pools, we're incredibly excited about them. They're coming soon. We've already seen the APIs and stuff. So, stay tuned for that. They're about to happen. And that again will lead to so much more in terms of TVL and how much is staked away. So very exciting stuff.
Now, Hashim, that is amazing. So pretty much you guys are going to tie real estate to the Quintessential pool.
Yeah.
That is amazing. So to put that in perspective, right now the TVL is 191 million. That's just off you guys have not launched the Quintessential pools yet. This is just the conventional and the luxury. So looking at the luxury raffle pools right now, you have 4 million TVL in there. And that's different than the TVL. Is that total of 191 or is that different, Hashim?
No, so the 191 TVL is everything staked all throughout, right? And so out of that, about 115 is in the conventional pools, because number one, we launched them first and people are getting really used to just seeing their Quint increasing every day. We've got a lovely little counter. So most of our Quinters are still there earning those returns. We got a new influx of people wanting to win those watches. So they've staked some Quint, but obviously the luxury raffle pools are a different thing. They're there to reward people in the short term with amazing prizes. But yeah, so there's about 4 million Quint. I'm not talking TVL, but I'm saying there's about 4 million actual Quint in the luxury raffle pools, which is a TVL of about 7 million. And in the conventional pools, we've got about 116 million Quint, which is a TVL of 184 million. So collectively, it's 191.
That is beautiful. Now, just to kind of recap what Hashim just said there, right? You have the conventional pool that gives you the reward. It's like your ordinary pools out there with most of the projects out there. Now, what differentiates them is that they have the luxury raffle pools where you win the amazing watches, 100,000 something watches. Then you have the Quintessential pools that is coming out. But on top of that, you guys are planning to tie real estate to the pool as well, where whatever the revenue came from the real estate investor, if you hold the Quint token, you get a piece of that revenue. Is that correct?
That's it. That's what we do. Our goal is to connect the real world and the metaverse. And we are very experienced at developing real estate opportunities. So why not have our Quinters become investors in real estate opportunities down the line? Why not make them fractional owners, which means If the entire building, once developed, if it's rented out, then they're getting rental returns. If we sell it on, then they just get like their yields and their returns, and we'll figure that out when we get to that point. But absolutely, that is in the roadmap, and that's something we really, really want to do, because that will demonstrate again how real world assets can be developed, can be created, real world value can be created using the power of crypto investment. So again, building those bridges involving the real world community and the crypto community.
And I wanted just to point out, right, and this is not just all talk, right? So when you guys analyze the project, and that's why I want to put a lot of emphasis on the team, the reason why I believe that Quint is able to implement this strategy is because they do have a team of a very extensive background in business in relation to real estate. So that's the reason why I believe that Quint is able to implement something like that, and it will be successful, because based on what the team accomplished in the real world as well before this project. So that's very important to understand and to point out to you guys, for the people that are listening right now. Now I want to move on.
For us also, again, it's about real world transparency, delivering like you would in the real world. And it's not just real estate that we're veterans in. I'm a consultant for government and blue chip enterprises on messaging. As of course, Mr. Al-Baluki is the operating officer for Etihad, which means he's all about cost, logistics, optimization, people management. So such incredible skills that we're all bringing to Quint to give it that real world elevation, to make it a flagship project in the crypto space in terms of delivery. And on that note, we're all about utility. Can I just say, on the 30th of May, we made an incredible announcement, which we'd actually planned for much later in the year. But like I said, we're out there, we're talking to people, we're looking at how to add utility all the time. Check this out. On the 30th of May, and this was news that was covered all over the crypto space, but it was also covered in Bloomberg, it was covered in Forbes, it was covered in Yahoo News, it was covered in on NASDAQ News. We became the native ecosystem token for the world's largest esports gaming and transmedia network. They're called Galaxy Racer. They're headquartered in Dubai. Their global reach is 600 million people. 600 million. And you know what? There have been tie-ups maybe previously where esports is tying up with a token, whatever, but usually what happens is that the token pays the esports guys to take them on. In this case, it was the opposite. They are investing 25 million into the Quint ecosystem to integrate us into what they're doing. And let me tell you what that means from an investor point of view. I can't announce anything just yet because they haven't formally announced it, but there are e-commerce opportunities coming up from them. They have a lot of like intellectual property in terms of the merchandise that they can sell from gaming, from whatever, but also, like, for example, they own the rights to the uniform kits for the entire Portuguese team. And you know the one superstar player that's in the Portuguese national team, one CR7, so they actually have the merchandising rights for some of his stuff. Give you an example. So they're going to be launching e-commerce propositions very soon. And Quint holders that go shopping there get a 20% discount. We will be the only token that they use to accept payments apart from fiat. That's one thing. And so many other things. So their esports networks, etc. We are going to very soon see that functionality come online as well. So just incredible stuff in terms of value, in terms of utility, and in terms of connecting all these worlds together.
That is impressive. So to recap, Quint just partnered up with a media network that has a reach of 600 million. If I remember that number.
Esports as well. Esports. So they do a lot of like they run a lot of like esports gaming tournaments as well, and they're branching out into e-commerce and marketing and actually selling incredible merchandise. But you know, like how you have all these like gaming tournaments, it's a huge industry, not just in America and not just in Europe, not just all over the world, but also here in the Middle East. Like, you know, young population really like playing competitive esports.
Yeah, and they're investing 25 million into Quint.
Yeah.
So that's very bullish, if you ask me. Now let's move on to the NFT marketplace, Hashim. Amazing. I think you guys also have another feature that really differentiate you guys from other NFT marketplace out there. Let's talk about it.
Brilliant. So the boutique NFT marketplace, again, was our way of asking and thinking, right, everybody does NFTs. And, you know, people are right now, you think NFT, you're thinking digital art. Now, in reality, NFTs or non-fungible tokens eventually will be used for more serious stuff. But let's get to the boutique NFT marketplace. There's two things that we wanted to do, and we're working very hard to do the both of them. The boutique NFT marketplace was a way to connect real-world connoisseurs, collectors, people who like art and who have the means to invest in art with a new breed of digital creators. So these are people who will have art hanging in their homes anywhere or in their offices. And our goal was to reach out to them and say, you can have digital art that you own as an NFT, but here's the thing. Because we know that you're the sort of person who likes things hanging in the physical space, if you get something commissioned from our boutique NFT marketplace, from the creator of your choice, we can put it in a wonderful token frame, which is designed to showcase NFTs, right? So it actually links up to the chain and it pulls the NFTs from there. So it's not just a photo frame, it's a proper token frame with a backlink to the wallet from where it's populating. And that will come up to your door. And with the resolution and with the lighting, it looks incredible. It looks like a real world, real life piece of art. In this group, in actually the USA Crypto group, I'd shared I think it was with Mike, I'd actually shared a little video of that token frame in a collector's office, and it just looks sublime. And, you know, we want to bring back, we also want we want creators and artists to be able to monetize their talent as well. And part of our mission is to connect them with people who will invest in their art, who will buy their art. We're taking this back, you know, like if you look at Renaissance times, for example, where you had Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, Raffaello. I know you're thinking I'm talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but in fact, I'm talking about those old age artists. And a lot of their work survives now, but let's not forget that they were jobbing artists. They created these wonderful pieces because they were being paid to create them by wealthy patrons. And we're very grateful to those wealthy patrons because that's how we can enjoy their art even now, 600-700 years later. We want to recreate the same opportunities where collectors can actually invest in digital art and have it show up to their door. So it gives them an appreciation of how digital art can be incredible and can be worth a whole lot. And it allows artists to reach these new audiences of appreciative collectors. That's why in the boutique NFT marketplace, we also have what we call an artist incubator program, where we've got a team that vets artists that we feel will be a good fit for us. And we extend them an invitation to work with us. And this incubation program then introduces them to these opportunities. Now, what we're doing, and I'm very delighted with our creators, that we're finding very interesting ways, or rather they're finding very interesting ways of adding utility to their NFTs. So for example, people who've minted their NFTs are creators who are allowed to whitelisted to mint. They are adding utilities like lifetime airdrops of interesting tokens. They're adding utilities like every time the NFT gets resold, the initial buyer earns a certain percentage. So it is incredible to see the creativity that is coming out of this. We are now also in conversation with some creators on how to, again, extend this utility to the real world. For example, you buy an NFT, and if you're in Dubai, maybe you can take advantage of certain, you know, healthcare type, or maybe, you know, some sort of therapy or something, some sort of utility that you can avail in the real world. It could be anything from consultancy hours to whatever it is that you require. So these are all incredible things that we're working on within of this boutique NFT marketplace. And again, if you're an investor, even if you're not an NFT investor, if you're an NFT investor, great, get in there, because our NFTs are priced reasonably initially, and then they get resold and resold quite a few times, and we've seen that action. But from an investor point of view, Quint, the token, is the only way to buy and sell our NFTs. And that, again, adds utility to our ecosystem. What was amazing there is that even before we'd launched that marketplace, while we were still testing it out and we were creating these connections between digital creators and wealthy collectors, our very first NFT from our marketplace, even before launch, sold for 1.8 million Quint. At that time, it was $500,000 USD, because this is early days. So $500,000 US of an NFT sale from an up-and-coming artist to a wealthy collector. That, again, was a brilliant move. It was a brilliant development in the space, because that wasn't a Bored Ape Yacht Club sale that was worth $500,000. It was an up-and-coming artist, and the collector said, I want that. And they paid $500,000 for that.
That is quite impressive there, Hashim. Yeah, I've been checking out your marketplace on a daily basis, actually. Just out of curiosity, now, you do have artists in-house that create NFT as well, besides the artists that you guys onboard into your platform. Just out of curiosity, do you have a big team of people doing that for Quint?
So our goal is we have created a team of artists and collaborators that can create bespoke art for our collectors. Right? So, for example, yes, we do have those capabilities, but sometimes our collectors, or even people who want to mint something with utility, they have the idea, they have the business model, they know what utility they want, but they're not creators themselves. They have this idea in their head that they want to express. And then, yes, our team of world-class artists helps them express it. We create something and iterate it until they are happy, and then we mint it for them.
Yeah, and to touch on that a little bit further, like you mentioned there, Hashim, so if a person buy an NFT, you guys are able to install into the token frames and actually get that physical product of the NFT delivered to your house, and you can hang it on your wall, which is
that's for wealthy collectors. That's for wealthy collectors, because there's of course we can, absolutely. It shows up to your house, it shows up to your office, and it looks fantastic because those token frames themselves are very well designed.
Cool. Yeah,
I just wanted to jump in real quick, Seattle. I just shared those ones that you shared to me as I'm over in the USA main group. I found those token frames. They're actually very beautiful.
Absolutely. I mean, it's amazing. I think I did see the one that you shared to the USA crypto group there, Hashim. Yeah, I mean, it looks amazing. Looked very expensive, I must say.
I mean, the thing is, look, it's not mind-bendingly expensive, but it's not something that you can pick up at the dollar shop either. So, we're not running these token frames as a retail business or anything, but it's a case of when our collectors ask for something, we then create something, put it in a token frame, and make this massive monument to art. And again, connect the real world and the digital world. So yeah, they're great things.
Perfect. Okay, I think we made a touch on this a little bit, but I want to ask you, what is your ultimate vision of Quint ecosystem?
So there's a number of things that are happening. Now, of course, our initial vision has been pushed out into a white paper. We are very soon going to be heading to centralized exchanges. We're going to be looking at interoperability with other chains that we like, maybe Sol, Cardano, Phantom, obviously, Ethereum down the line. We're going to be investigating all of those. Eventually, there'll be a Quint-specific wallet. But let me tell you what is happening now. And so we're talking in the next couple of weeks. And this will answer a few questions that my community keeps asking me as well. I get this question at least 8 times a day by people who want to see some price action. And they literally, it's just 2 words. When's CX? When CEX? When? And, my point's always been, well, if you look at the market, it's bleeding. Why would you be entering a centralized exchange right now? Because if you choose a centralized exchange carefully, and we're aiming for the top tier ones, obviously, and if you time your entry right, that provides a huge boost to tokens usually, right? And what you don't want to do is you don't want to squander that by accelerating that in a bear market when the entire market's bleeding and investors have lost confidence. But I'm very happy to be able to share with the community is that we are now actively working and having conversations with a number of top-tier centralized exchanges. So in the near future, now I'm not going to tell you what that near future is, and I'm not saying that it's the next 48 hours, but in the next couple of weeks, all things going well, maybe a month, whatever, 3 weeks, we will be seeing some and you know that like the top-tier exchanges, they have a rigorous process, and like it takes 10 to 15 days of both teams sitting together and going through step by step by step. But you are going to be seeing some CEX action on some very nice exchanges fairly soon. The other thing that I'm very excited about that we will be introducing is we're going to be adding functionality to the Quint site as well. We're creating a dashboard. So you know how people use PooCoin and they use DEX tools and all the rest of it to get their information? That means they have to go to third-party sites. We're developing an in-house integrated dashboard where you can, number one, buy Quint directly. So you don't have to do the pancake swap thing, etc. And B, you can do your price calculations. The dashboard will show you like price movements, all the rest of it. We're bringing that in-house. That's happening. The luxury raffle pools will pay out very soon. That's happening. Adding new utility to our NFTs. We're actively working on that. So that's happening. And we're actively working on expanding our relationship with Galaxy Racer. Their e-commerce proposition is about to come online in a matter of weeks/month. That will be happening. We are now also, because I think the market may or may not, but we suspect it may have found a bottom and is coming up. We are now hitting, we're now redoubling our investor outreach. We're going to be having conversations on Monday. We're going to be doing a 3-minute pitch at the Burj Al Arab with a massive, conference. I'm just going to pull out the name for you in a second. And it's called the Global Digital Industry Investment Summit. And check this out. They are doing sort of a Shark Tank, but for crypto projects. And the audience is all big cap investors and whales. And we're in that competition, and we're going to be doing that presentation. It's in many tiers. Apparently they're going to try and make a reality TV show out of it. Our Chinese communities and huge investors are flying into Dubai, especially for that. That is happening. So there's just so much in the works. And our long-term vision for Quint is that Quint is going to be a project that keeps finding new ways of bringing communities together, of bringing the metaverse and the real world together. We are a utility token. We firmly believe that when you invest in Quint, you're investing in the ability of the team to innovate, to grow, to expand, and to find new opportunities for you, Quint holders, by making sure that Quint goes from strength to strength. And you will see one day, you will see a tower with Quint Q on it. And I am very much hoping, and we've already done this because our early investors, in fact, a lot of our big investors are conventional investors whom we convinced face-to-face to invest in crypto for the very first time in their lives. These would be people in their middle age or perhaps more. They'd be 40 years old, 50 years old. So they'd be like, what are you talking to me about? And to be able to open those doors and convince those people, we really want to see Quint as one of those flagship projects on the BSC chain and one of those projects that really represent the good values of crypto, the innovation, the ability to create, and negate the stuff that people maybe don't like about this space, which is the lack of regulation, the degen mentality, the incredibly high risk, all the rest of that. So that is what I want Quint to be. Because again, guys, don't be looking at the price chart every single second. Think about this. There's still 96% of the world that hasn't even put a single penny into the crypto ecosystem. If we can come up and if we can create things, all of us together can create things, and we can convince people, and we can use projects like Quint, and I keep saying projects like Quint because we do our level best to have that level of trust, transparency, reliability, and authenticity with a docs team. We're CertiK audited. We have the CertiK KYC badge. We're there live in public all the time talking about Quint. If we can lower the barriers for new people to join our communities, that is going to be a game changer. It's going to be a massive tide that lifts everybody. It's just going to be. We're so excited about what we can achieve with Quint. It's incredible.
Yeah, I really love the innovative thinking behind Quint's project, and we can see that thus far, you guys have proven that you guys are able to think and implement things that are very different than other projects that you see in the BSC space. So that's really good to see. And I think you kind of touched base on
here's the thing. But here's the thing: everybody has ideas, right? And the thing with ideas is ideas are great, but if ideas don't translate into execution and action, then ideas are just words on a piece of paper, right? They don't amount to anything. So yes, have those ideas, but where we really pride ourselves at Quint is that we take those ideas and we run with them, and we work nights and we work days, and we make sure that those ideas get translated into reality. We're doing meetings every single day. Our tech teams are working day and night. There's always activity going on. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I don't talk about, can't talk about because the time isn't right, but other things that we're working on, for example, in the Middle East, Quint will probably soon become the very first coin, the very first token to be used for donations to charitable causes as well. And again, that's another example of connections we're creating. Once we're ready to announce this stuff, we'll be talking about it in more detail. But yeah, I mean, innovation is great. But at Quint, we also believe that innovation should be backed by a desire to excel and a desire to deliver on what you promise.
100%. I think execution is crucial in any kind of business, right? And and I look forward to see you guys, implement and execute all these strategies that you guys have going on. Now, you did touch on a little bit about safety, CertiK, and that was going to be my next question. Seems like Quint does recognize the importance of safety. You guys did go through apply for CertiK, and that is almost done. Or is that done, Hashim? Is that 100% done?
So CertiK is 99% done. In a couple of days, it'll be 100% done. The thing is, they had shared their final report with us 3 weeks ago, in fact, I think. We were just so busy that here's the thing with our CertiK audit. Zero critical issues found. We announced that then. The first report came in. They'd wanted us to have a discussion about a couple of things, like they wanted us to mitigate this, add our comments, etc. And at that point, our entire tech team was busy building out our Quintessential pools. And so in our head, the audit had finished. And it was only about 3-4 days ago when I realized that we were still at 99%. But at this point, it is just a formality. I've written to them and I said, right, lads, let's close this and publish that final report. So, within the week, we'll have that sorted. But the initial report was delivered 2-3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe. Zero critical issues found.
Yeah, I think, it's important for our project to recognize the importance of security because as we've seen in the space, right, you get hacked into all the time. So CertiK is, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but the top notch of auditing firm, and Quint chose to go through them even before it went to public. So that is something that is applaudable for the team to do that. I guess the next question is, some of the questions you have on the website here, Hashim. How efficient is Quint? You kind of touch base on that, but just do a quick recap. That would be great.
So when you say how efficient is Quint, like efficient as in terms of like the Quint team, how efficient we are, well, I hope we're delivering what we promised, because one of the things that we do, and I in particular love talking to our communities, so we engage with our communities, we tell them what's showing up. We have a wonderful community of mods, etc. as well, who are helping people all the time. It's about putting in that face time. It's about emphasizing on delivery. If you're looking at mathematical efficiency, we've already discussed our TVL. We've already discussed the fact that we had locked in 30 million worth of value within 24 hours of our staking pools launching. We've already said that we launched 10,000. We'd earned 10,000 beans in our pre-sale, and we had 4x'd in 4 days on launch as well. So in terms of that, there is efficiency. Quint at present, fair diligence in order to safeguard our market until we go on the centralized exchanges. There's a 10% buy tax, 10% sell tax, and also a wallet transfer tax. These will not stay forever. Because as you know, and I think everybody who's got a little bit of experience in the space knows this, that the minute I say that we are now making moves towards centralized exchanges, you automatically know that the top tier centralized exchanges want your taxes to be very, very, very low, like maybe 5%. And there's always a rebate back to the users as well. So the tax situation is going to eventually change. Having said that, if you're thinking of waiting because you're thinking maybe I will wait until the tax situation changes, I don't know how great a strategy that is, because at the same time, I suspect that a CEX announcement comes with massive price movements. So if you were looking to invest in Quint and increase the size of your bag, I would say, and it's my role to say it, but not financial advice, but if I had money that I designated for Quint, I'd be putting it in now. Because of the downward pressure from BNB and so on, we've been at 1.4, 1.3 even, 1.5. Right now, I can see that the market's lifting in Quint. There's a bit of a whale rush coming in, and we're at 1.6. But remember, before the market really went a bit south, we had hit an all-time high of 2.8, and we're going to be back there very soon. And this is just the start. I mean, sometimes it's very hard for me to believe as well, but we're a 2-month-old project. And just this week, the week that's coming up after this weekend, the number of things that we're working on simultaneously, I mean, the future's just, I believe the future's really bright here.
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually looking at the chart right now, and yeah, it looks like we are hitting at 1.286 right now, and the TVL has risen up to 192 million, which is very
so
impressive.
On PooCoin right now, PooCoin, we're at around 1.6 right now, and I've just opened up DEX tools, and it's loading. It's a bit slow, and I'll tell you where we are on DEX tools. Right now, yeah, 1.6. We're exactly at 1.6 right now. 1.6059.
Oh yeah, I was talking about the market cap, but yeah. So the price is 1.6.
Yeah, sure.
Market cap is $1,286 million. And
so,
just
remember,
how long you guys been out, Hashim? How long has the project launched for those that came in late? How long has the project been out?
April 21st, literally 60 days. One of our lovely mods put up happy 2-month anniversary, Quint, 2 days ago in our room, and I almost fell off my chair saying, no way has it only been 2 months, because for us, it feels like a lifetime of working on Quint, talking about Quint, building Quint. But yes, it's only 60 days. And there is one thing I really want to clear, because the market cap, again, can be misleading. A lot of investors look at that and go, and they get a bit like, they think that it might be too late because the market cap's already so high. This is the theoretical market cap once all 800 million Quint are out. At present, there's 255 million Quint in circulation. So if you want to calculate the actual market cap, you would look at the price right now, which is 1.6, and you would multiply that with 255 million, which would give you a market cap of closer to about 408 million or 500 million. So no, 408. So what I'm saying is there's a lot of room to grow. The market cap that you see on DEX tools and the total circulation that you see is the overall fully diluted circulation. But there's only 255 million Quint in circulation right now. And as we've already discussed in this wonderful chat that we've had, over 120 million of those Quint are locked into our staking pools. So that means that we're primed for when the animal spirits, when the bull rushes return to the market, we're so primed to take advantage of that.
100%. But yeah, so to really calculate the market cap, the circulation supply times the current price. And like Hashim said, right now, currently there's 120 million tokens locked into the staking pool. So what that means is that those tokens have been taken off the circulation. So you will evaluate the market cap differently, right? So you get
I mean, we normally calculate
times the price.
That's it, sir. That's it. We normally calculated at 255 million Quint in circulation, but even of those that are in circulation, 120 are locked in the staking pools. Now, we don't consider them as out of circulation, because technically, if people wanted, they could unstake, and those tokens will come back in circulation. You know, we don't stop people from doing that. But right now, in terms of the circulation, there's 255 million Quint in circulation. So right now we're sitting at a market cap of 408 million, out of which, again, as you guys were saying, 408 million, around 200 million or 191 million is in the staking pool. So technically, yes, it's included, but people are not on staking. So there's it's a good position to be in, is all I'm saying. It's just the start, and I don't want price to be the only thing we talk about in this discussion, because, you know, look, market sentiments, prices move up, they move down. What we're in the business of is creating enduring value and ensuring that we deliver on what we talk about. And if you focus on those fundamentals, then I find that the value and the appreciation of the token and the growth, that comes automatically.
Yeah, 100%. I think that goes to every legit project, right? Real projects out there, right? As long as the team focuses on the fundamentals, like Hashim said, and everything will take care of itself. You only see projects like Degen plays, meme plays, where they worry about the chart on a regular basis. You don't have to do that in the real project. So those are the type of projects I look for, and I do have a big stake in Quint. I'm not a financial advice, but I love the project. I love the team behind it. And so far, Quint has proven that they can implement their strategies. Keep in mind that Quint launched 2 months ago in a bear market. So for them to achieve the accomplishment they have achieved within a short period of time, I think that speaks volume of what they can do in the future. So with that, Hashim, we went through every single thing. Did we miss anything else that you may want to talk about?
I mean, honestly, you've been so fantastic. And don't forget that 50X Godfather, and we're on his channel, and he's also like a founding member of the USA Crypto Group. He's our ambassador. And here's the wonderful thing about our ambassador program, in case people are interested, is that our ambassador program is based on mutual respect and goodwill and a shared vision. So it's not a case of, it's not a transactional relationship where we're paying ambassadors USDT or whatever. Most, if not all, of our ambassadors are already Quint holders. And the reason that we work with them and they've become ambassadors is because, like us, they really believe in the project. If you want to check out all our ambassadors, just go to our room and type /ambassadors. You'll see the poster with that. But it's such a privilege to have the likes of you guys supporting us, to have the likes of 50X Godfather supporting us, and supporting us in a non-transactional, non-USDT, slip me a dollar way. We're all working towards creating value, towards building our bags. And, you know, I genuinely believe that Quint is going to do very good things for Quinters, for people who are believers, for holders. But also, I'm hoping for the industry and for that 96% of the world that thus far has not invested in crypto at all. So we can start cracking that slice of the pie. I think it's just going to be fantastic.
Yeah, you know, and I had a chat with 50X recently, and it looks like he's going through some kind of, personal things. And it looks like I would be more active on representing the channel. But I did have a conversation with him, and I did ask him a straightforward question. I said, hey, the market is, you went from 2 billion, according to the chart. Have you sold any coins yet? And he honestly told me, oh, hell no. So,
yeah.
So
I mean, and I can tell you,
sold one single coin. So that says a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's the sort of belief that we like seeing in our ambassadors, right? And because that's just amazing. And I think most of our ambassadors are like that. In fact, we've got long-term holders in our room who've been there with us since pre-sale, and even when they have 35x'd a month ago, when we hit an all-time high of like 2.8, when they 35x'd, they didn't sell. We've since those dizzying heights because of downward market pressures, because BNB is falling and we're on the BSE chain, so we get hit. We went down a bit, but honestly, nobody is really bothered, because even when the entire market was bleeding and people's portfolios were down 75 to 80%, all you were seeing with Quint was sideways movement. And I am so grateful to our community, to our investors, also to the teams, the Quint teams who are working day and night to make this happen. I will tell you that I have not seen the sort of resilience that Quint demonstrated during a time when the market was bleeding, just moving sideways, not nosediving. Even Bitcoin, the OG, the original gangster, was falling off a cliff, and Quint was holding relatively steady with little sideways movements. We've seen the resilience, and I'm very happy, and I'm hoping, and fingers crossed, and we're building towards this. I'm hoping that now we're going to start seeing the market support us, and we're going to start seeing some serious upwards action as well, hopefully.
Yeah, the first time I have never even heard of Quint, and I think that kind of shows a lot of, what are you guys able to do as far as natural, organic? Because as a research group, we kind of know what's out there, what not. But I remember being our USA Crypto group, and one of the community members brought up Quint chart, and the first time I looked at it, and it was actually in the bear market, and I looked at it, I was like, I didn't know what it was, but then the next day he posted again, and it shot up double, and it go up again. I'm like, oh my God, what's this? And I remember seeing 50X Godfather post it in the channel, and I now really got my attention. So I went and looked. I read the whole white paper, dissect the team. I looked up you as well, Hashim. You, like I said, you're quite a speaker on YouTube, quite a celebrity, I got to say. But after analyzing the whole thing, I was like, wow. This is really different than what I've read, because as a research group, you kind of read through a lot of white papers and you kind of see what's good, what's bad. But what differentiates you guys is that you guys actually have physical asset that's tied into the project, right? And I think that, and with a great team behind it, so I think that's really differentiate you guys. And I think it reflects that in the chart.
And on that note, can I just say, not just physical assets, let me tell you something. In March, end of March, right? Quint hadn't launched yet. Nobody knew what Quint was. We hadn't done anything. We were just about to start advertising in major cities. There was a Nelson Mandela arrest warrant NFT. Now, Nelson Mandela, we all know, the South African president, human rights champion, fought against apartheid. There's an NFT made of his arrest warrant when he was sentenced to 27 years in jail by a white judge for his fight against apartheid in South Africa. There's a charity called Moment. They digitalized it and they auctioned it with the money, with the proceeds going towards his legacy and towards charitable causes as well. The winning bid was $130,000, and nobody knew who it was, but Bloomberg covered it, saying, there's an anonymous that somebody's won the NFT and it's going to be on display, and the original arrest warrant is in the museum. And anyway, long story short, that was us. That was Quint. And that Nelson Mandela arrest warrant NFT is going to be up in the showcase section of our boutique NFT marketplace. It's not for sale, but another thing that we're working on is the ability to rent NFTs out. And that, obviously involves some algorithmic understanding of how to effectively do that using smart contracts. Like, do you give up ownership or do you transfer? Like, what do you do? What are the mechanics? We're working on that. And soon we're hoping that we'll be able to extend that to other NFTs as well. So rather than just buy and sell, renting is another utility that happens. But so that NFT, which is a slice of history, is in our digital treasury. If you look at our Twitter account, we have an NFT there as well. It's a Bored Ape NYC number 575. It's a Bored Ape Yacht Club, not NYC, Bored Ape Yacht Club number 575. That NFT is worth $500,000 as well. And part of the reason that we started building this digital treasury is because when investors are considering a project, they want to see, apart from the roadmap and apart from teams saying we will do this and we will build this, they also want to see evidence of resources and seriousness. They want to see, do these people have the resources and the reach and the expertise and the finances, quite honestly, to build this out? And part of the reason we have this treasury of real world assets and also digital assets is to show people that we have not just the capability, but also the resources to, number one, build this ecosystem, and to, number two, defend it. So, we're not going anywhere.
That is great to hear. Amazing to hear, Ashley. So you guys were the one that got that the Ape NFT, huh? I was actually kind of curious who got
575. Yeah, that was us. That was us.
when I first doing research in your project, and I was your logo is definitely with a key with Quint on it, and I went to Twitter. And I saw the airport NFT. I'm like, well, which one's the logo here? So I dig deeper into it, and I kind of read that you guys bought that, so that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're just here, we're building, and we value the trust that our Quint has put in us, and we're going to repay that with some solid action every single day. Whether you hear from us or not, rest assured that we're out there championing you, championing Quint, building, talking to people, creating new connections. Unlike other projects, we only announce stuff when we're ready. Because quite honestly, I know that we're in the sort of space that loves hopium, but I don't want to just make things up for people. Everything we speak about are based on conversations that we're already having.
And I love that. I love that. You know, you guys kind of walk, just not just talk only. So I love that. With that say, Hashim, it's been a pleasure having you here with the community. Great chat, definitely great chat. So I'd like to talk to Mike. Mike, do you have a last word, Hashim, before we open up the chat to community members if they have questions?
No, absolutely, go for it. Thank you so much for having me on. You guys are fantastic. I pop into your channel every now and again anyway to say hello. Super community, and it's lovely that and I've seen people in there talking about Quint as well, and it's just lovely being a part of your community from that way as well. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, and I apologize. I'm getting DMs why people are getting kicked off. I'm not sure what's going on. I apologize if you guys are getting kicked off. It shouldn't. But Mike, do we have any questions in the community?
Looks like I have one here in a DM. I do see a couple of hands raised. So let's go through the hands raised first. I see Edit Daniels here. I'm going to unmute you. You can go ahead and ask your question now. Go ahead, Edit.
Hello guys. Yeah, good evening, everybody. Quickly, my question is, in every project, there's always a problem, but it is how you attend to that problem that will, determine if you're going to be successful or not. So my question is, what is the problems, or what are the problems that the team of Quint Token has been facing? What strategy was adopted to solve it, and how fast can they attend to problems that may tend to affect the success of the project?
I mean, that is such an amazing question, because I think that in this entire space, we don't talk about our problems enough until they become raging issues that affect the entire community. Like we saw that with the Luna Terra debacle, etc. I think we should be more open about not just the things that work, but things that don't. And I think the more transparent we are, and the more we throw our hands up and say, yes, this is happening and we're working on fixing this, the better. I'll give you an example of a problem that we faced right when we started our pre-sale, because this is, I'm not saying it's embarrassing, it was a learning curve, it was an amazing experience, but after all the money that we'd spent and the hype that we created for this pre-sale that was happening on our website, right? We had a countdown timer, we'd given people time, our Telegram room is buzzing, people are ready. And then there's a slight connectivity glitch or something, and we were late by 5 minutes or 10 minutes from launching, and people are like, what's going on? Where are people? But unlike other crypto projects, here's what we did differently. The team was in that same physical room, as many of them as could be, because of course we have teams all over the world working on different elements. But, I and Hassan, the CTO, and Rahul were in the same room, and we got into the TG room, and I was there, and I'm updating the community saying, we will be launching in 5 minutes. Stand by. We're there. So don't leave people in the dark. And then on that launch, because, we built up so much on the pre-sale, we tested so much, but in the first 3 minutes of that launch, somebody forgot to flick the switch because the pre-sale wasn't supposed to have a 10% tax in it, right? That wasn't on the pre-sale. Since launch, we've had a 10% buy and sell tax. Pre-sale, our deal was tax-free. But for the first 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes, whatever, there was a 10% tax. So the first 30 buyers that came in, or 35 buyers that came in, they had a 10% tax deduction. We worked half the night talking to people on the Telegram room talking to them, getting their details, saying, yes, this 10% tax has been applied. Yes, it shouldn't have been applied. Give me your wallet address. Give me your hash transaction. We will manually reverse and refund you. And, and that was a process that took, in some cases, for some people, it took minutes. In some people, it took days. Some people, it took a couple of weeks. But we had everybody in the team actually manually taking down details, getting people to fill in forms and making that right. And that is something that I really want to emphasize, that when you're moving fast, when you're innovating, sometimes things do face problems. So excellent question. But as a team, be accountable. Don't be afraid of throwing your hands up and saying, yes, this happened. Don't hide it and obfuscate it, because that leads to FUD. Throw your hands up, say this is what happened, and then say, you know what? We're fixing this for you. And you know that we're real, and you know that we exist, and you know that we have reputations. So when we say we're fixing this, we will fix it.
Okay, awesome. That was a very great answer. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Mike. Thank everybody. I appreciate. Thanks, guys.
No, thank you for that amazing question, because I've done quite a few AMAs. Nobody's asked that question, and that is such a valuable question for our entire space. Let's just not talk about the hope stuff. Let's also talk about the actual problem-solving stuff.
Yes, I love it. Great question, Edit. Awesome answer, Azam. Next question we have at hand raise is from Jazz. I'm going to unmute you. You are all set to ask your question, Jazz.
Yes, hi. I was wondering where you see your project in 5 years.
Essentially, again, thank you, because it helps us imagine what we're going to do. In 5 years, we want Quint to be one of the preeminent projects on not just the BSC chain, but in the crypto space. We want it to be a blue chip project. We will have cross-chain interoperability at that particular point in time. We will have immense utility that you wouldn't even see in the white paper, because white papers for projects like Quint, white papers are written as an indicative roadmap before you've launched. But every day we talk to new people and see new opportunities. We're a team of builders. We're going to keep building. We're going to keep finding new ways of connecting the metaverse and the real world. You're going to see Quinters become fractional owners of real world assets. And I'm really, really, really hoping that Quint will play a leading role in bringing more and more non-crypto investors, or people who haven't yet invested in crypto because they're scared of the space, because of its high risk, because of lack of regulation, because of the variable standards of projects. I'm hoping that Quint will serve as a great gateway for those people to start coming in and understanding that crypto projects can be delivered like you would deliver a real world project, with transparency, with accountability, with a team that you know and trust. So that is what I'm seeing.
That sounds amazing. Thank you.
Your questions are awesome. Like your like, well done, Crypto USA. Your community is fantastic. Like the sort of insightful questions that I'm getting here is incredible. Well done.
Thank you for that. And thank you for your question there, Jazz. Next question is going to my DMs here. This is from Jim. You said Quint goal is about connecting the metaverse with the real world. So his question to you is, how would you convince the traditional collectors and artists to use Quint, and how could they benefit by using Quint?
Well, so the basic thing that you do, right, when we connect the metaverse and the real world, keep in mind that people who are only in the real world and not in the metaverse, not in the world of crypto, etc., have different risk tolerances. They will still spend on things that they like, but they expect quality, and they expect refinement, and they expect you to cater for them. And at Quint, we're very used to people, because, like I said, we build in the real world. Rahul, CG Corp Global, owns and operates 5-star resorts all over the world. 5-star hospitality requires a lot of personalized attention and stuff. So we bring those values to the crypto space. So, if somebody, we show them, like I shared that video in your room as well on your channel, of how wonderful digital art and NFTs can look in a token frame. That's why we're not, our boutique NFT marketplace is not like OpenSea. It's not like anybody can mint and anybody can buy whatever. Every single creator that we choose is carefully curated and carefully chosen for a particular quality and a particular approach that we know will work with certain collectors that we already have in mind. And so the creators that we work with are quite selectively chosen, and they're taking initiatives as well, because if you see the current wave of NFTs on our marketplace, they're offering utilities in the virtual world already in terms of airdrops and token drops, etc., linked to the NFT. The creators themselves are doing that. Down the line, our NFTs will start offering physical world utilities as well. So essentially, when you're connecting the metaverse to the real world, you need to be able to understand the exacting standards that conventional investors and conventional collectors put on their works of art, and then you create the quality that they will appreciate and be willing to pay for.
Awesome. I hope that answers your question there, Jim. I'm just going through the... Okay, looks like I have another one here from Kaner. His question is, I believe the luxury segment needed such a project indeed in the crypto world. So I wonder, for example, via Quint NFTs, may I be able to get an express pass for any concert, event, or join a special event just organized for the Quint NFT holders? And will Quint actually create a community for those who love to feel a luxury life and make more money via such a project?
I mean, that's an amazing question. It's a multi-part question, so I'm going to try and remember the different parts of it and answer them. First off, our luxury raffle pools are designed to give people incredible, real-world, amazing prizes that are part of that luxury lifestyle, right? Like the Hublot timepieces, etc. Our quintessential pools also, remember, our quintessential pools, unlike our luxury raffle pools, don't have one winner. Just by being part of a quintessential pool, you will have that incredible real-world experience. And we're offering supercar experiences, luxury stays in Dubai. Remember, within of our own network, if you look at what Rahul Chaudhary does, if you look at like our chairman, who's the COO of Etihad, it is well within our capabilities to be offering things like discounts and free stays and just an entire amazing portfolio and repertoire of real world perks and benefits for that luxury lifestyle, which you don't have to sell your tokens to get. You just stake them, you're adding to them, and you're getting that luxury along with it. So there was that element of the question. The second bit, would you be able to get concert tickets and so on? Now, we will either operationalize that through our quintessential pools, but here's something else we're going to be working on. We have plans for something that we're calling the Quint Metaverse Arts Club, or the Quint Metaverse Creators Club. And this is exclusive to Quint NFT holders, where you will hang out with creators, artists, celebrities, and within of that room, within of this club, yes, you will have access to these exclusive gatherings and exclusive opportunities that you will not get out in the street. So absolutely, that is in the works.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys have quite the vision. I see one more hand raised up here from Dr. Moonwind. Go ahead and ask your question. You are unmuted. Are you there, Dr. Moonwind?
Oh, I know Dr. Moonwind. He hangs out in our group quite a bit.
Oh, maybe accidentally raised his hand there, but let's see. I don't see any more questions there, Sam. I guess that wraps it up for the questions there. Amazing questions, some great answers there, and absolutely great.
Hisham, I really appreciate you coming over here and give us a very, very detailed of your project. That was an amazing AMA, and that was an awesome chat. And we'd love to have you back anytime you want.
You guys are absolutely awesome. I'm so glad that we're friends now, and that 50x has linked us, and that I drop into your channel a whole lot. You're one of the few rooms that I've got pinned right up towards the top of my TG. You've got a great community. I really enjoyed this chat, and you know what? I'm in your room, so if anybody ever wants to ask me anything, I'm just Hisham Wine, Quint CCO. You'll find me there. Come join us in our room. You guys are absolutely fantastic. This has been an amazing chat. Thank you so much for enabling it. Again, a massive congratulations to your community. So engaged, so incisive, and just the questions that they were asking, it makes you realize that they've sat and thought about the project and what it means. And so thank you for having me. And I'd love to be back when we've got a new wave of stuff to talk about, which will be very soon.
I don't think there's anyone that doesn't know what Quint is within our community. So we love the project for sure. And through 50X, we have been, talking about Quint quite often. So, amazing chat, Hisham. With that said, guys, I really appreciate everyone come here today and listen to Hisham and us chatting about Quint. Make sure you check out their project if you have not. Join the TG. We will post the TG in the Telegram. Make sure you guys head over there and ask questions and be part of the community. Not financial advice, but I am a big holder in Quint, and you guys should definitely look into it.
Awesome. Great AMA, guys. Nassim, thank you for coming out. Like Tiago was saying, extremely super informative. You're a great person to sit down and chat with. Welcome back anytime. You know that. With that being said, that concludes our AMA, and I do have a little bit of a giveaway here for the rest of the community. I have one B&B. I'm going to give it to two of the best questions that I have here. First question was Edit. Congratulations. Awesome question. And the next one was Jazz. Two great questions that we had out for Quint here. And the other two, I'm going to share my screen here, guys, as I don't have the wheel today. Oh, why is there so many views of it? Are you guys seeing that too? Like multiple windows?
Oh, yeah, that looks like a glitch in the Matrix. That's awesome. Actually, that's very cool. That could almost be an NFT. That's
I love your innovative thinking there, Hisham. Just like that, we got a product.
That's it. Stick it in a token frame and send it off to a collector.
Oh, that could be worth something.
Yeah, I tell you, Mike, come over, mint it.
Go ahead, Nassim, I'm sorry.
No, I was saying, come over, mint it in our NFT marketplace. This will sell, I can tell you. It looks really cool.
I've never seen
absolutely. It. Yeah, I'm a bit confused on why I shared the screen like that. But anyways, we have two random guys I'm going to scroll and stop on to grab our last two winners here. So, I don't know the best way to do this. I'm just going to go really fast and pick, as awkward as it means. One, Victim. Congratulations.
Not a victim today.
Not a victim, a winner. And Steak Lover. Two great guys, always joining all of our AMAs. Congratulations. That looks like a really juicy steak. Well, that concludes our giveaway, guys. Absolutely loved having you out here again, Hassim. I can't wait to chat with you again. And thank you all. It was a great day today on a Saturday.
Oh, it's a pleasure, guys. It's a pleasure. Thank you again for having me. And you know what? We'll chat again very soon. Now, you have a good rest of the day. It's a good night where I am because it's now 11:39 p.m. So, super, super, super having a chat. We'll be seeing you soon.
Thanks, Hisham, again, and have a good one, everyone.
Take care, everybody. And have a good night, Hassim. Sleep well, brother.
There you guys. Cheers. Bye.